Bill Plunkett's our pal, Orange County Register. He knows L.A. well, and he says hello on this Tuesday show. Hello there, Billy. Nice to have you with us here. Did the Dodgers, was it their intentions all along to swoop in late? Did this just kind of present itself the last couple of days when they realized they didn't have to go deep with years? Give me a little rundown on where you, in fact, thought the Dodgers began to think that they can make Bauer an L.A. player in 2021 and beyond.
Well, two of Andrew Friedman's favorite words when it comes to the offseason are nimble and opportunistic. And that is the way they kind of operate every offseason. Unless they have a specific target, they tend to lurk on the edges of a negotiation, make sure that the agent and the player know that they're interested if they can do some creative things. They did the same thing with Bryce Harper 2 years ago, tried to give him the big money up front and shorten the deal. He wasn't interested. In Trevor Bauer, they found a guy who's a creative thinker, just like Andrew Friedman and the front office is. And they had a lot of things going in their favor, obviously. A great team that he steps into. He gets to come home to Southern California. That's important to him. And they're, as sophisticated about pitch analysis as Trevor is. The Dodgers have a good relationship with Driveline, where Trevor goes every offseason, I believe. They sent a handful of guys there last year. They hired someone from Driveline to be their pitching coordinator. So they have that open-minded approach to pitching that Trevor Bauer always has had.
And that helps. And, of course, as you say, Southern California, too. $40 million a year doesn't hurt either, I might add. And how about Justin Turner? This doesn't preclude them bringing him back. I mean, I don't know where he could go, but it's gone on a long time for sort of a guy who's the heart and soul of their offense. You think he's annoyed that this has been delayed so much? Give me a little rundown on the negotiations with the third baseman.
Frankly, I think we're all surprised that it hasn't gotten done. It's such a natural fit. Not only does Turner handle the clubhouse so well, he's a very good influence and calming influence there. He's also a tremendously significant part of the community. He and his wife have a charity that they run. They do some wonderful work in the community, and it's a natural fit for him to come back again. Another Southern California guy. So it's kind of baffling that it hasn't happened yet. And now, the Dodgers are $28 million over the luxury tax after signing Bauer. They do need to make a roster move. They can't announce the Bauer thing until they make a move because their 40-man is filled. If they were to sign Turner, they'd have to make another roster move. So I think the phones are still, they're still working the phones to maybe make a deal, trade off some of their excess in some way. I wouldn't close the door to Turner, but it seems harder now that they've kind of blown up the payroll a little bit.
And they can have Rios play third base. This is a weird one, but I've been thinking this for a while. Is there any backlash at all in the community? The Dodgers let a lot of folks go based on pandemic, and we all understand that. And then they brought in a player for $100 million who was not on the team last year, who they didn't necessarily need to win a championship. Is there any bad reaction to that, or everybody thinks that's the price of doing business, make the team better? What's your take on that for a sec? Let me hear.
I haven't heard anything where people are getting upset about that. It is an odd juxtaposition. Stan Kasten went public last fall and said that the team had lost north of $100 million during the 2020 season because of, no fans in the stands and such. And they did lay off some people. But I think the afterglow of winning a World Series makes everything, everything's acceptable now, unless they had traded away Mookie Betts this winter. I think people will take almost anything after finally winning a championship.
That's fair. All right, there you go. Now, payroll down the road here. Where do we stand? I mean, they got to worry about Seager, Bellinger eventually, Buehler eventually. I know they can lose the money that they're paying Kershaw. He's not going to go on forever. but they do have 3 or 4 very young players who they are going to have to pay a lot of money to before too long. And, you know, with Bauer and with obviously if they re-sign Turner and Betts making all that money, I mean, there does become a limit. Will they have to lose somebody here in the next 3-4 years because of some of these contracts they've laid out in the last couple of years? Let me hear.
I think they will lose some of those people, but it won't be their decision. I think in the case of Corey Seager, he's going to be a free agent this winter. There's going to be a lot of big money thrown at him. Scott Boras is his agent, and Scott does not give hometown discounts. You know, Seager's a North Carolina guy anyway, probably wouldn't mind being on the East Coast. So that's going to be a difficult one to keep him on the roster. Kenley Jansen, Clayton Kershaw, Joe Kelly are all free agents this winter too. You could save some money with Kenley and Joe Kelly if you don't bring them back. I think Kershaw, we're at the point now where he wants to finish his career as a Dodger and not go to another team. So that might be easier. Beyond that, I think Andrew Friedman can juggle a lot of balls at once, and the Bellinger and Buehler things are not immediate concerns for him. And this is the engine that has driven the Dodgers the last few years, is that player development system, and it's always producing cheap alternatives. Starting pitching, they got May Gonsolin, a guy named Josiah Gray on his way. Gavin Lux should break into the lineup this year. The player development system, it allows them to do a lot of things.
And makes it easy for him. So Seager is something that we'll keep an eye on. Bill, you do a great job. Stay healthy down in Glendale when you do visit. Appreciate a few minutes. We'll keep in touch.